Have you ever felt like you're just wandering, totally without a map? Well, you are not alone. Today, we're going to dig into a really powerful framework from the author Robert Greene. It's basically a roadmap for finding your way when you feel completely and utterly lost. So, let's jump right in.
So, right off the bat, Greene hits us with this pretty stark warning. This isn't just about feeling good or finding your passion. No. This is about survival. It's about building a solid foundation for your life. He's basically saying that the skills you either learn or fail to learn are going to be what decides where you end up. The stakes? Yeah, they couldn't be higher.
So where does a journey like this even begin? Well, for a lot of us, it starts in a place that Greene calls the wilderness. You know that feeling? That period of confusion where you feel like you're just drifting with no real purpose? He argues it's a totally universal experience, and it's actually the critical first stage that we all have to get through.
I mean, think about it. You finish school, you get thrown out into the world, and boom, that clear path you were on just vanishes. There's no syllabus for what comes next, right? Greene really emphasizes that this feeling of being adrift is completely normal. Life doesn't just hand you a guide. The real work is in forging a path for yourself.
And listen, Greene lived this himself. His path was anything but a straight line. After college, he tried journalism, didn't like it. He spent years just wandering through Europe, literally living out of a backpack, trying and failing to write a novel. He even ended up in Hollywood working a bunch of odd jobs. So from the outside, it looks like he's just spinning his wheels. But was he really?
And this is where the whole idea really clicks. Those wilderness years, they are not wasted time. In fact, Greene says they're the period when you are, without even realizing it, acquiring your most valuable assets. It's all about turning that seemingly aimless wandering into real, focused power.
So Greene uses this really powerful metaphor, right? He wants you to think of every skill, every little piece of knowledge you pick up as a form of currency, as gold. You're just accumulating this wealth even when it feels like you're just getting by. And the idea is that later on, you'll be able to cash it all in.
And you can see exactly how this played out for him. It wasn't random at all. That time in journalism, well, it taught him how to write with drama and urgency. His failed novels, they taught him how to tell a story. And those odd jobs in Hollywood, they taught him deep research and a sense of theatricality. Each one of those random experiences was actually a brick slowly building the foundation for the writer he was going to become.
And get this isn't just some nice feel-good idea. It's not just a metaphor. It's actually backed by real neuroscience. The process of learning a skill isn't some abstract thing. It is a physical, biological process that actually fundamentally alters the wiring of your brain.
Greene points to the work of a UCLA neuroscientist who was studying patients with OCD. And what the scientist found was incredible. Through targeted mental exercises, which is really just a form of skill development, these patients could literally rewire their own brains. The big takeaway here is that our thoughts, our practice, they physically change the matter inside our skulls, forging new connections that weren't there before.
So here's the big idea. You spend your wilderness years enriching the soil. You're gathering your gold, you're building your foundation brick by brick. And when that soil is finally rich with all sorts of different skills, you're finally prepared. An opportunity will come along, and because you've done all that hard work, something amazing can finally grow.
Okay, but having all that potential, it isn't enough. The soil can be as rich as you want, but a seed is never going to sprout without a catalyst. And for Greene, that catalyst is one thing: boldness. You have to act.
I mean, just look at this contrast. Timidity, insecurity, always talking about what you're going to do, that gets you absolutely nowhere. It's invisible. The world doesn't notice it. But boldness? Man, boldness commands attention. It creates this self-fulfilling prophecy where people are just drawn to your confidence in your action. And even if a bold move fails, it's memorable. It makes you stand out from the crowd.
Greene tells this fantastic story about a man who wanted to start a magazine. He tells his mother his plan, and her immediate reaction is, "That's a bad idea." So what does he do? In this amazing, bold move, he just calls the magazine Bad Ideas. It was brilliant. He turned that criticism into a marketing hook, and of course, the magazine became a huge success. He didn't wait around, he just started.
So, you've acquired your skills, and you're learning to act with boldness. What's the final piece of the puzzle? Well, it's about understanding that raw, primal energy that drives you. And Greene specifically talks about the confusion a lot of people, especially young men, feel about their own nature, and he offers a way to harness it for something good.
The world today sends a lot of mixed messages about traits like ambition or competitiveness or even aggression. Sometimes they're framed as being automatically toxic. But Greene's point is that the energy itself isn't good or bad. It's just a powerful force. The only thing that matters is how you choose to use it.
And so he totally reframes these virtues. He says that true productive strength doesn't come from an insecurity that needs to put other people down. No, it comes from a place of discipline and self-control. It's being so secure in yourself that you can respect others, not as a sign of weakness, but as a sign of your genuine inner strength.
So how do you actually do this? Well, the perfect word for it is alchemy. The ancient art of transformation. You take these raw, volatile energies, this ambition, this competitive drive that could easily turn negative, and you channel them. You transform them into something valuable. A business, a piece of art, a great personal achievement. And once again, Greene just points right back to his own life as the ultimate example. He fully admits he's a competitive guy, that he has an aggressive edge. But instead of letting that energy hurt people, or himself, he just poured all of it, all of that fire, all of that intensity, into his work. He channeled it into exposing the darker sides of human nature in his books, turning a potentially destructive force into a creative masterpiece.
So there you have it. That's the framework. Survive the wilderness by gathering skills. That's how you enrich the soil of your mind. Then you act with the boldness to plant a seed. And finally, you channel your deepest energies to make it grow. The only question left is, what will you dare to grow?